South Central.
South Central. And tell me about your
Actually, no, I'm going on. I was around my house. That's what I was after. He was after. That's what I was saying. I was rough feeling. I put my dad around. So I was always like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was on. So, you know what I'm saying? My mom was tough too. So, my mom was trying to be like a brother. So, it was always rough. None of was rough. Yeah.
Like he has a big head
Teenager.
or something.
Alright, what's up guys? It's me, Vic Star123 with
My parents' house, my bedroom,
That's
making
so
videos,
cute.
moved into the first Sidemen house, where I slept on a mattress on the floor, but
Aww.
Alright, what is going on, guys? Today I have quite a long video lined up because we are getting into the wonderful, fantastical, magical world of ReactGate. Now, if you don't know what ReactGate is, it's essentially the huge online phenomena that's going on somewhat currently. I'm a little behind the curve, I'm not gonna lie, but honestly, this will probably pop up again in 2 months because it seems to come up every way too often. But yeah, it's pretty much this big online thing. People get really upset about big time streamers reacting to smaller content creators videos on stream and doing the whole reaction thing, and the chair is reacting, blah 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 blah, you know, just all that good stuff. It's big, it's deep, there's a lot happening, and yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go through different levels of it. Today there's quite a bit to get into, so you know, instead of making this intro take too long, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right into the content. So the first person that I want to actually bring up in this video is darkviperau. Now, you either know who he is or you don't know who he is. If you know who he is, you probably know what I'm about to say. If you don't know who he is, I'll just give you a little bit of background on him. Basically, darkviperau is, as his name would imply, an Australian YouTuber, and he is known for GTA speedruns, pretty much. And now, don't get me wrong, I actually enjoy a lot of his GTA content. I watched it for a decent amount of time. I thought it was fairly good content. It was interesting, especially when I was super into GTA, like when I was playing through the story mode and everything, which I actually did not that long ago because, you know, growing up over time, I was one of those kids that wasn't really allowed the M-rated games for a little while. So a couple years ago, stuff like that, I was playing through the GTA story mode and I was watching his videos. I found it awesome. You know, it all related. It was stuff that I was doing at the time, so it was cool to watch. And, you know, just everything like that, right? So overall, I think his content is fairly good when he's talking about GTA. However, when he tries to venture into the weird commentary kind of space on YouTube, he kind of loses it because he is the big kind of instigator behind a lot of ReactGate, if not all of ReactGate, although I don't want to say that because it's really something that's been around longer than his big long videos on the topic or essays. He is definitely a big key component in all of this. So basically, a little while ago, like around a year ago, I think, maybe even longer now, he put out a very long essay, as I kind of alluded to, and this essay was incredibly long, you know, not something that your average Joe Schmo Twitter user is going to go ahead and, you know, take a look at, because this thing was like, I believe 14 pages, which is incredibly long. That in fact might be longer than anything I have ever written. And you know, this is coming from somebody who has graduated high school and is now in college, so you know, it's not like I haven't written a good essay or two, right? But yeah, so 14 pages on how reaction style videos or streamers reacting to smaller content creators destroys the original video in the algorithm. And, more and more stuff like that, how it heavily disadvantages the smaller content creator, and it's just the big, huge Twitch streamer, just absolutely trampling on the little guy. Don't get me wrong, he gives a few counter arguments where he says, well, it does do this or it does do that, but overall it's a very negative essay toward the big name reactors out there. And now this started some beef with Moist Critical, and I'm sure you've definitely heard of him because you're watching a commentary style video right now, and this guy has pretty much influenced almost every commentary YouTuber that has started their channel within probably the last 5 years, maybe more. So I'm sure that you're probably pretty acquainted with him. And basically, they kind of had an argument over this essay, over darkviperau's take on the whole React thing. Because if you didn't know, Critical does stream on Twitch fairly often, if not daily. I'm not sure, but it's definitely fairly often, and will occasionally react to some things. He used to do YouTube nights. I don't know if he really does them anymore. I haven't watched his stream in a while, but he used to do YouTube nights where he would just react to YouTube videos. And now, while I don't necessarily think, like I said, the darkviperau is 100% wrong in what he says. For example, I do think that there is, a limited number of videos, for example, that somebody can see per day. If you're scrolling through YouTube, there's only so many videos that you're going to come across, which, when you scroll through your page, your home page of YouTube, every time a video appears on the screen, whether you pay attention to it or not, that counts as an impression for the YouTuber whose video was on your page. So whether you watched it or not, whether you clicked on it, whether you hovered your mouse over it, whether you literally did not even realize it was there, that counts as an impression. That counts as you were exposed to that video, and so that YouTuber will then get a number that pops up on their impression saying, hey, somebody saw this video. Did they click it? No, but they did see it, right? And there is a limited number because there's only so many videos somebody's going to scroll past in a day. So eventually it runs out, and also as videos age, there's a lower chance of them ending up in there unless they have some weird second wind thing because the YouTube algorithm does something super strange. But, it's on that kind of principle, right? And with that being said, it does technically take away from the smaller creator. He is not wrong because people are more likely to click on, Critical reacting to that video than scroll a little further down on the YouTube homepage and see, oh, here was the original video. But it doesn't really come down to that in the end. when like you really get into the specifics and like the real life applications of this stuff, it doesn't exactly work how it was thought up on paper, to put it that way, right? So the way that I personally see it as a small creator currently while I'm making this video, if a big name streamer, somebody like Critical, Hassan, XQC, these super big name people who are definitely in this reaction controversy thing, if one of those people were to react to my video, would it potentially take away some impressions? Yes. However, it would double, quadruple whatever the exposure that video likely would have gotten on its own. For example, if XQC was to react to this video right now, let's say that it's one of my better videos, and maybe it does, 1,000 views in the first week or so, just something around there, right? That's a fairly good performing video for currently my size and my situation and how my videos are typically received and picked up by the algorithm and everything like that. So if it was to get, say, 1,000 views or something, that would be cool. I would be happy with that, and that's probably about the limit of what it can, logically do and most likely will do without it, something fucking crazy happening to it, like it ends up on YouTube's trending page or something like that, right? So that's really unlikely. The chances of that happening are like winning the lottery, pretty much. It's really not gonna happen. However, a much greater chance is, say, somebody who is close to these big reactors, for example, an editor or somebody like that, say that they tweet the video at them and they react to this video. Let's say XQC reacts to this video, for example. This video will get way, way more exposure than it ever would have before. And just because of how that works, it's going to trickle down and it's going to positively affect a small channel like mine. There will be people who will come onto the channel because maybe they liked the video that he reacted to and wanted to see more content like that. So they'll end up on the channel and they'll at least watch some other videos. And, there's a high chance that maybe they'll subscribe also, which is, hugely positive for the channel as a whole. So, that is like a good thing overall, I think. I think if somebody reacts to my video, that's a good thing, especially if it's a big, huge, Twitch streamer like this. Now, to put it into more of a, I guess, realistic perspective, I did have a bigger content creator react to one of my videos before. So it's not like I'm just completely talking off of absolutely nothing. I have had a bigger creator react to my stuff. Now, she probably isn't as big as she used to be, but it was a reaction to my content, and it was from somebody who has more influence in comparison to me. And it still trickled down. This is Tara Babcock. I made a video on her talking about her kind of, downfall and almost falling out with YouTube, where she just doesn't do it as consistently and as much and stuff like that. And it's not like the same content. That was kind of my stuff. She reacted to it. She talked about how some of my points were, I hit the nail on the head. Some of my points kind of sucked. However, she linked my video, which is awesome. That's what you should do if you react to a video. And because of that, it not only got that video some views, but it also got other videos some views and even gained me some new subscribers from a place that, wouldn't typically be expected to even really gain me subscribers, seeing that it's somebody who I made a somewhat negative leaning video towards, and then they made a argumentative response back. It's not like the react content where a lot of times those people are like, oh, this is a good video, because if you hear XQC say it's a good video and you're a fan of XQC, you're gonna probably want to be like XQC and have his opinions because people are weird and parasocial. So you're gonna be even more inclined to go subscribe and support that creator because XQC likes that creator. So, if I can get a positive upturn on my channel from making a negative video that has a overall negative situation surrounding it, but it still, provided results for my channel, it's going to be a fairly high chance of, positivity coming towards that smaller channel if there's a positive reaction to it from a big streamer. Now, moving forward, though, we aren't getting off of darkviperau because he has recently been taking some shots at another mid-sized creator. I wouldn't quite call her small anymore, but she isn't like one of the bigger creators. So we'll call her a mid-sized creator. Now, this creator, of course, is Gabby Bell. And if you have never heard of her, I really do recommend checking out her channel. In fact, I would say she's probably one of my favorite YouTubers at the moment. And, this big, huge part of the video is just a big, huge simp trip for me. I'm really just simping out. I'm white knighting right now like crazy. And that's why this part is included in the video. Not actually. But, pretty much Gabby Bell. Now, she has become a major target of darkviperau in recent times. Now, this is because she made a video fairly similar to the one I'm making right now, where she went ahead and she talked about how his original video and his essay and stuff like that didn't really make a whole lot of sense at the end of the day, and it was kind of shit. And yeah, and that doesn't really apply. And she's, had success off of people reacting to her and all of those great things. Now, little insight into her. She is a fairly big Critical fan from what I can tell. So obviously she is going to side with Critical, who back in the last situation we talked about was for the reactions because it's something he did. And obviously with darkviperau, he was very coming after him and stuff like that. So obviously she is going to have some bias to side with Critical and make this video saying, yeah, darkviperau, bad talking points. These aren't true. It doesn't work like this. Yada, 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 right? And honestly, wasn't a bad video from her. It was fine, and she even admitted that bias in the beginning. Now, do I think it was the most convincing of videos you ever could have watched? No, not necessarily. But it was fine. It did its job. It was decent, entertainment, and it was a good video overall, right? Now, darkviperau, however, though, recently, and not so recently, but honestly, just a big, long string of stuff. I think he's made like 3 or 4 videos on her now. Decided to, kind of make a response and kind of clap back to all of this criticism from, Gabby Bell. Not even the biggest of creators, but somebody who just had an opinion. And so pretty much she went ahead, did her thing in her video. And this guy, darkviperau, has gone ahead and said, he's made various videos with a lot of them along the lines of Gabby Bell's career was built on lies, or she's ending online discourse. It's all stuff like that, which is, of course, a somewhat clickbaity title, but it does definitely lead into his main arguments. And that is that, Gabby Bell is not the best YouTuber, I think is kind of the point that he's trying to get at, which is very, he makes this point in a very long-winded way, which is, quite the, I guess, insult coming from me, because I'm quite possibly probably one of the most long-winded people on YouTube. Don't get me wrong, I never miss an opportunity to make a talking point longer than it has to be and go on and on about something that probably doesn't matter very much and that I probably honestly summed up my full opinions on within the first 5 seconds of talking. However, I'm going to go ahead and throw 5 more minutes onto the end of that just to reiterate that point over and over again and shove it into your brain. So he likes to do this too, which, honestly, like I said, I can very easily see why you would, as somebody who does it themselves. But I don't know where he's going in a lot of his videos. Like, a lot of his videos just feel almost hit PC. Like, he definitely is trying to, clap back with his own argument and say, oh, well, you didn't really read into my argument here, or you didn't understand this point, or you didn't do that. But it doesn't necessarily explain to me how she built her career off of lies. I don't know if it was, 100% supposed to be like, oh, well, this video helped boost her career, which I'm sure it did, because that was probably one of the first videos of hers that I watched, and she has grown quite a bit since that. But that certainly wasn't like the beginning of her career or the real, takeoff point, I don't think, given that she was one of the people featured in the, whole Moist Critical thing going around, where they had like every different universe's Moist Critical doing the woo, yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about, that whole thing. She was a part of all of those compilations, and despite that, I'm sure just had grown other ways. I don't know. I haven't done a shit ton of research into like the growth of Gabby Bell, But, you know, I think it's very generous to kind of assume that the video that she did talking about him was the video to really make her career take off, and therefore it isn't really built on lies as he says. But yeah, you know, he goes on to that. He goes on to say that she often doesn't think about points until she's editing or stuff like that. Just it feels like more of a nitpicky, you know, hit piece than really a counter argument video at the end of the day. It's just weird. It's weird, and it's really a way for him to just still keep his foot in the door with the fact that he hasn't quite caved on reaction style videos, and he still does hold these very contentious opinions on them, which is funny because, you know, to really end our whole Moist Critical saga and, you know, darkviperau, they seemingly made up and did like GTA GeoGuessr and like all this shit, and then he still goes back on the same points and just will not drop it. You know, this is like really he's really grabbed onto this topic and just will not let go. I mean, it is GTA or ReactGate stuff for darkviperau. There is nowhere in between. And now I guess there's Gabby Bell too, because he seems to just love to rip her content apart at every possible point that he possibly can. So yeah, you know, that's that, right? That's darkviperau pretty much wrapped up. But that is, you know, where quite a bit of the ReactGate, you know, issues really took off and really went into a more mainstream argument. But don't worry, because we definitely have more. So yeah, you know, we will go ahead and transition over into that next point. So hello, quick break here. This is not an ad read, although it does kind of sound like one, I can't lie. Actually, what we're doing now is we're explaining something very important, I think. And this is something that I feel like not a whole lot of people really touch on when they make videos on this, or something that they really like drive home. And I think that this does certainly mean something, you know, when we're talking about this kind of stuff. And so that is going to be, we are going to be doing our favorite third grade way of explaining things. And we are going to be making a Venn diagram for, you know, all of that nice, juicy comparing and contrasting. And the two topics that we're going to be comparing and contrasting are going to be reaction creators and commentary creators, right? Those are the two sides of our Venn diagram. So, you know, just to go ahead and we'll just throw it onto the side, right? You know, we're not going to start putting these into the circles quite yet. But, you know, let's just think of some, you know, general relative bullet points that we can go ahead and put into reaction creators. You know, what are some key things that we think of when we think of reaction creators? So maybe we think of distracted while watching the video, you know, maybe not fully paying attention, not fully absorbed into the video, but rather throwing it on as a background thing. And now this mainly applies to Twitch creators as opposed to like YouTube video creators. But yeah, you know, I think that that's definitely a staple that we should go ahead and put into the reaction side of the thing, right? But like I said, we're not bubbling it in yet. We're just making a list of reaction things and commentary things. So there we go. There's a reaction thing, right? That, you know, is something that reaction YouTubers definitely do, or reaction creators, my bad. Moving down though, we will have react, right? I mean, you can't have reaction content without a reaction. Just reacting, just plain, dry, simple, any kind of reaction. Could be a nod, a shrug, a good video, who the fuck knows, this shit sucks. It could be anything, you know, any of the above, right? So reaction, right? Because you can't have reaction content without a reaction. So there's another cool staple piece So now, moving forward with some more key staples of a reaction creator, I don't know, it's kind of hard. It's they don't really have like the most, and I'll get into why I'm kind of like dissing them all of a sudden, because I'm sure that you guys are like, oh, he's pro reaction creator, and now I'm like, oh, they don't really have the most to a video. But I guess we could add providing insight. They might provide a little bit of insight for some people, so we'll go ahead and add that to the list. I can't really think of any more that would be like there. So now we'll go over into commentary creators. So what do commentary creators do? I myself am a commentary creator. So what happens there? So with commentary creators, I would say transformative content. A lot of commentary content is transformative. It has a transformative aspect because we're talking for a lot longer on a video. For example, as opposed to reaction creators who might not talk quite as much. But, this is important. So we're still going over all of this. So transformative content, right? We'll say that that's over there. Now, reaction, because don't get me wrong, as a commentary creator, I react to a ton of stuff. And I, give a baseline reaction. So that belongs to commentary creators as well. Analysis. Now, I think that this is something that really sets them apart. We'll talk about these when we start, giving them each their respective bubbles. Once again, insight. All right, let's break stuff down. So reaction is going to be for both of them. Both of these are giving a reaction, very similar there. Now, same with insight. Both of them are giving some level of insight. Do I think the commentary creator probably has a deeper level of insight? Yes, but they're both giving insight in some kind of way. So, on top of this, we also have more unique content or more unique things that are unique to each side. And that is going to be like in-depth analysis, for example, for commentary creators, as opposed to the more surface level shit that you get from reaction people. To go ahead and go on to each side, you're gonna have the more surface level reactions as opposed to in-depth analysis that you're gonna get with the commentary. Now, the funny thing is not very many react creators would typically fall into this react creator thing. In fact, I think it's extremely weird to even try and make this a category, and that's possibly why I'm struggling so much. And it really does push the point across that it is hard to define what is truly a reaction creator as opposed to just another commentary creator, because people don't really have as big of an issue with commentary creators. Don't get me wrong, commentary creators have a bad rap or have had a bad rap over the years for doing certain things. However, stealing content has not necessarily been one of the issues that they've ran into per se. More saying insane things about the content, stuff like that. Definitely some cancelable moments for some commentary creators over the years. But it does show that they are really similar. And outside of a couple key differences, there's not really a whole lot to write home about, right? It's definitely a very similar situation going on between the two. In fact, you could almost say that reaction creators are just bad commentary creators. Like, it's just commentary creators without the, in-depth analysis, and it's just more of watching it like a normal person would kind of watch it. I guess that kind of separates that. I'm going to give some names, which is not something I typically like doing, but I think for the sake of this video, for the argumentative purposes of this video, giving names will be beneficial, and I definitely haven't shied away from it so far. So, for example, React creators that I would typically place into the React kind of category over here would be people such as sssniperwolf, Reaction Time, and even maybe going as far as pokimane, although I would say that, I don't know, yeah, I would probably rope her in there, I can't lie. So those are like 3 examples of creators that I would put into the react category. Now, for example, people that I would stick into the commentary category who provide insight, stuff like that, who are really adding something, I feel, to the video would be people such as Gabby Bell. I feel like whenever she has reacted to something, there is insight, there's argument, there's stuff like that. There's points of contention. Despite what darkviperau might say, Gabby Bell does add something to the conversation instead of killing online discourse, as he goes ahead and says. But beyond Gabby Bell, Hassan. I would say that Hassan would fall under a commentary creator. A lot of people like to rope him into that react thing. However, a lot of his reactions come with way too much commentary sometimes. In fact, just way too much. Sometimes it isn't even video related. Sometimes it just starts with a video or a topic from the video and ends up somewhere completely else. So I would say that he goes into there. There is in-depth analysis, as far as I'm concerned, within his reactions, making him more to the side of commentary. And same with Critical. I think the Critical also belongs into the commentary creator space. Definitely not just a lazy react creator, as some people would consider him. Now, we can finally take a step away from clarifying and that Venn diagram. So now we're diving into the more recent controversy that has been going on, and this is still the same, if we're being honest. This is just more of going to be a look into how it is interacting with certain creators and kind of what's going on. So recently, the big thing that really set this off for the second time, that really, created a fucking explosion, is recently Lemino. I think that's how you say it. Might be like Lemino. I don't know. Something like that. Great creator, by the way. I do recommend you go check out his videos. They're really good. But he released a video on the JFK conspiracy. Now, this is in the format of all of his other videos pretty much, or at least a lot of his other videos, where he goes through and does a very well thought out, well researched mini documentary, or even almost feature length documentaries in some cases. And he goes over that and does that about the JFK conspiracy. And it's a good video. It's a really good video. And so it takes off on YouTube. This, of course, causes reactors to go ahead and react to it. Now, some of these people included XQC and Hassan. Now, those are going to be the two that I'm going to be focusing on in this area, and also the two that I'm probably the most familiar with and can provide the best insight into as a viewer of both from time to time. So pretty much XQC went ahead and did that. He reacted, and it was really him that kind of set it off. He went ahead, he reacted to it. So did Hassan. They both reacted to it, and people were unhappy. In fact, some people even go as far as Someordinarygamers, which is a creator that I actually very much respect, have watched for a long time. In fact, have watched for much longer than I've watched XQC or Hassan. And yeah, somebody whose opinion is pretty valuable when it comes to internet opinions, at least in my opinion, because he's done a lot. He's been around a lot. He's a fairly knowledgeable guy, especially when it comes to YouTube things. So, that was quite a shock to see that he was getting upset about reaction content. And I do see some of his points. Don't get me wrong. I'm not 100% disagreeing with Someordinarygamers, but what it generally sparked and what kind of came out of it, I think, is overall more of a negative than a positive, as I feel with a lot of this ReactGate stuff. So people have gone crazy targeting XQC for watching this video on stream and then having this somewhat Twitter beef with Someordinarygamers. over the whole reaction concept and, you know, shit like that. So pretty much they've gone all over calling him a lazy react streamer, which is sometimes true. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that XQC is the most incredible creative mind that we've ever seen when it comes to content creation. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I could tune into his stream and he really is just sitting there watching some shit. And I mean, I kind of can't hate on him for it because he streams a lot. And it could definitely get draining. Making content is something that is a lot more difficult than I think a lot of people really realize. For example, before I started making YouTube videos, I thought that making YouTube videos was a fairly simple concept. You know, you sit down, you record something, you put it out, people watch it, people like it, you gain subscribers, boom, you're a YouTuber, right? That was my mindset. And I would assume that that's a lot of people's mindset who just, you know, watch YouTube, who don't make YouTube videos or don't stream or don't, you know, who aren't involved in any kind of content creation. I'm sure that that's probably the mindset that a lot of, you know, people have. And it's definitely not the right one. Content creation is very difficult. And I learned this within my first couple years of having this YouTube channel. It pretty much, you know, started off very slow. I made videos very irregularly because I would make videos and it was genuinely exhausting. It was way more than I could take at the time, being like, I don't even know, like 13 or something. I don't know when I put my first video out on this channel, but it was a long time ago, right? So it was, you know, difficult. It was really difficult when I was that young, and it's still difficult because now I upload 2 videos a week. And if you're a subscriber, or if you've just watched some of my content, or you're on the channel regularly or anything like that, or you know my upload schedule, it's difficult and it shows because sometimes I'll put out shorts. Sometimes I miss uploads occasionally. I really try not to, and I haven't missed too many. But don't get me wrong, I've definitely resorted to shorts when I just do not feel like, you know, fully editing a video, or I go back and look at a video that I've recorded and I realize this is not what I want to put out today. And, you know, you don't always have time to just sit down and record a new one because that stuff takes time. For example, this recording right now, I have been recording for nearly an hour, and I don't know if we're going to be nearly an hour through this video. I mean, a lot of this stuff could get cut out. Maybe I don't like it. You know, maybe I'm just trying to cut the dead space because there's dead space. Because, you know, I try and make my videos discussion based and, like, you know, be approachable. So I try not to have a script, and I try and talk like a normal person, and things are just difficult, right? Things can definitely be difficult when it comes to content creation. So imagine doing that for hours on end straight every single day is incredible to me, to somebody who makes content. Like, live streaming like that is something that I truly do not think I could do. You know, I mean, that is quite the commitment to make because it's quite a bit of work. And so I can completely see them putting on a video and potentially zoning out sometimes. Do I think that it's like a 100% okay thing to do? You know, just let somebody else's hard work and hard, you know, content creation just go out the window like that because a bunch of people are watching it on your stream and they're probably not going to watch it because you're not like recommending the channel or anything because you're just zoning out because you're tired or something like that. Yeah, you know, I do think that that is a little bit of a tragedy that does come with the whole reaction situation. It does happen, don't get me wrong, to, you know, XQC and to Hassan and to, you know, everybody who streams for long hours like that. But I think overall that is not what's happening. I think that they try and give themselves some kind of break by just, you know, not creating pure 100% from the ground up content, but just, you know, giving a little bit of a relaxation period for them and just, you know, sitting back and relaxing and commentating on some other stuff that somebody else has made. Like I said, it can range. It could definitely vary. Sometimes they react to some videos it's very poor reacting, right? It doesn't include a whole lot, and it would fall down into that category almost with like Sniperwolf or Pokimane, where sure, there's some pauses, but it, doesn't happen very frequently. And, when there is, maybe it's just like a laugh or a weird, like, piece of nothing that nobody really needed and doesn't really add a whole lot to whatever they're watching on stream. It happens, it happens. It sucks when it happens, but it happens. But I would say the overwhelming majority of the time, and even on this Lemino video, it does not really end up that way. For example, I watched Hassan's reaction to the Lemino video, and I thought it was a fairly good video. I thought that he added a lot. I thought that he definitely added enough for it to be a transformative take on the video. I don't feel like I watched a re-upload of the video. And in fact, I missed some things when I watched it with Hassan, to the point that I went back and watched Lemino's video personally from his channel, not from Hassan's, not from, anything like that, but from Lemino's channel. So I went from, watching it on Hassan, and I watched the original video. So it can happen. People don't just watch the streamer's reaction and then give up. People can actually go watch the original content. I know, it's shocking, but it did happen. That's how it happened. Now, that's kind of a different situation there. That's not 100% natural, because I am subscribed to Lemino. I have been for a long time. So it's like, this video came up multiple times. This video was recommended to me over and over again. So there was a good chance I was going to watch it, and I don't really think that Hassan took away from the impression, because trust me, I got Lemino's impression over and over again, right next to, the videos of Hassan reacting to it. So I don't think that it's necessarily the same concept that a lot of these people argue with the whole Reactgate thing, but it does show that you can't, just because you watched a video once doesn't mean that that's it. Maybe they paused too much. Maybe, they were, maybe the person in the original video was cooking, the person that was reacted to it paused, and you're like, oh, that killed my train of thought on this. So you go back and watch the original thing so you can form your own opinion. And that's just being a good viewer, especially when it comes to maybe informational content or political content or stuff like that. You probably should go back and watch the original just so you can form your own opinions on it, even if those were slightly clouded because you watched somebody else react to it already. But they both got in trouble for that. In fact, they're still kind of facing the backlash. Most of it comes from Twitter, which is its own problem. And in fact, it's so much of a problem, it's not even called Twitter anymore, which is something that I'm not talking about in this video, but is incredibly stupid in its own right. But they got in trouble, and it sparks a larger debate, because these people in specific, XQC and Hassan, and in fact Critical, will throw him back into the conversation, because why not? We might as well. They all three have their Twitch channel or their Kick channel or whatever the fuck they stream on. I don't know. There's too many goddamn streaming platforms now. They go ahead and, they stream on that. So they have their thing. They go, they stream. Cool, exciting, awesome, good for them, right? Then they have editors who will likely edit down, clips and parts of that stream into videos that'll be uploaded onto their YouTube channel. Now, with Hassan, for example, because I have the most experience with watching his YouTube content, it is very different to just a stream VOD. If you go on his actual channel, a lot of the stuff is very cut down and, very edited. And it does feel like you're watching a whole new thing when you watch his channel that is associated with and affiliated with him and has an editor through him and stuff like that, right? You can very easily tell that there's a lot of edits. If you even know what video editing is, you can very easily, realize that this is not just ripped from his stream, but is almost a completely separate piece of content, which he really didn't need to do because it's coming from his stream. Now, Hasan does have a very open IP policy. In fact, it's one that I subscribe to and I choose to enact upon my IP in terms of the videos that I put out. I think that anybody should be able to, go ahead and use my content as long as it's not a straight rip and just re-upload, as long as you make it slightly transformative. My IP is good to go. You can use it if you want. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get mad. I will not copyright claim your shit. And that is very much Hasan's take as well. He does not like to copyright claim stuff. It's pretty much, if he's made it, you can use it. Just try and make it your own. Be a good faith actor out there, right? Don't ruin it for everybody else. And this has given birth to what he calls the Hasan Clips Industrial Complex, right? Which is just all of the fan channels that, make clip videos or react videos out of different parts of his stream. And now there's definitely better ones that I'm sure, the Hasan fans will know of. There's better ones that do edit and, do make their own stuff out of it and do definitely earn their kind of right to the content or whatever, to call it their own content, and that a lot of people are okay with. Like, for example, if Hasan reacts to a video and then these people re-upload Hasan's reaction, they've likely done enough to where the person can go, you know what, okay, I understand, this is its own thing, I'm not going to copyright claim it. Now, however, if that is ever an issue, Hasan has gone out and stated that, hey, if this happens, get into contact with me. I will not react to any more of your videos if you're not comfortable with it. I will take down any of my reactions on any of my affiliated channels, and I will try and get into contact with any of the, fan channels and try and get their videos taken down as well, if that's what you would, prefer. And that's a pretty decent opinion, or at least, motto to have for the whole thing, right? If it's there and you don't like it, it could be taken down, because he doesn't want to steal from the smaller creator if they truly feel like that video is, not crediting them or is just, doing a negative to their video overall, because nobody wants to see that. Believe it or not, these big, huge streamers don't want to see the little guy fail most of the time, because, they were once the little guy, and they, being content creators, have that respect for other content creators, because, believe it or not, I too have that respect for any content creator. Whether you have 1 subscriber right now, or you have 20 million subscribers, whether you're Mr. Beast or whether you just started your YouTube channel yesterday and are trying to work on your first video, I have a ton of respect, because I know the work that goes into it. It's difficult, it's hard, and it is something that deserves respect. Even if I might not agree with your video, or if I think that you're dumb, I still respect you giving content creation a try. And I would not do anything to personally hinder anybody. Even the shit that I react to, I don't expect that to be the be all end all for that. I want to start a discussion with that around the video, around the, whatever I'm talking about. That's why I do commentary. And, if I do react to somebody smaller, I would try and lift them up. Now, I don't, because I typically, prefer to stay away from that stuff, because a lot of my content is more negative focused. I'm more critiquing stuff, and I don't want you guys to go hunt them down, because once again, I do have respect for them still as a content creator. But, despite Hassan sharing this, there's obviously a lot of hate coming his way because he's Hassan. He's contentious, he's political, and people can't really get over that. Now, me, as just a enjoyer of YouTube content, I don't really look into all of that too much. I just kind of watch it. I enjoy what I like watching. It ends there, right? And, I found a lot of great channels through watching Hassan react, through watching XQC react, through watching Critical react. I've found a lot of, amazing things. And I truly, when I watch their stuff, I feel like I'm getting a different experience than if I were to just sit down and watch the video. And to the point where it sometimes, in the case of this newest Lamino video, it has encouraged me to go ahead and just sit down and watch the original too, because I want a, unfiltered, impacted just moment to really sit there and watch the video for myself. And I think that many other people will probably share this same kind of mindset that I do, because I don't think that I'm that special. I think I have a pretty average mindset when it comes to things like this, and so I think that overall React content, believe it or not, is not that bad. It's not that detrimental. Is it annoying that all of these Twitch streamers have a million fan channels that are uploading clips and stuff that are almost just straight up VOD rips? And honestly, like, if my content was included in that and it was just circulated over and over again by like a bunch of fan channels and stuff like that, just because one of these big streamers reacted to it, would it get a little annoying? Possibly, especially if my video wasn't doing that well. However, it puts my name out there still. And it puts all of these people's name out there. And, honestly, a lot of them are truly appreciative of it. I would say that more are appreciative of it than dislike it. I think the only time that people do dislike it is when they maybe have put in, more work than the average YouTuber on a video. The video is maybe not performing as well as they wanted it to, and they're seeing these reaction videos from even like small fan channels outperform their video. That I can see as being a little bit of a crushing experience, and I can see you getting a little annoyed, especially if it's just a straight rip from, the person's stream, and they've taken your thumbnail and they've done stuff like this, and they've done stuff like that, and they've just, put somebody else's face all over your stuff, and it kind of ruins it. Like, I can see that. I can see that as that being a big negative and a big, bad, no, don't do that. That's bad. But I think overall, it is a positive. I think overall React, stuff helps the little guy. I don't think it hurts the little guy, as it's argued by some people. I think it definitely has the potential to help the little guy a lot more, and this is as, being the little guy. It would be great if somebody reacted to my content, because it would, help boost me into a whole new audience. It would put my content in front of a whole new audience, whether the reactor liked it or not, whether their audience liked it or not. It would be a ton of publicity, which is always a positive on the internet. And therefore, to close out my big long video, I am losing my voice. I've been recording for well over an hour now. I think the React commentary, or the React videos, commentary videos, streamers reacting to videos, all that good stuff is not nearly as detrimental, and certainly not as big of a deal as people have made it out to be on Twitter. I do not think that there are very many people out there, if any, who are just sitting there doing chair reaction videos. That's very rare, and honestly more of a thing of the past than anything, because that content just isn't entertaining. It's not going to fly. And yeah, I don't think it's that bad. I think that there are some reaction channels that do not deserve the success that they currently have. For example, Sniper Wolf or Reaction Time. Those are two just awful reaction channels that I actually used to like, back when I was little. But I do not anymore, because I do think that that is lazy and that is not putting in any effort. But I think that with these streamers and the people that, people are really targeting are not the people that, should be getting targeted for this reaction kind of content, because they are not the biggest offenders of, ripping people off, I guess, ripping smaller content creators off. That would be, more of just the straight up boring, no, insight, no real big opinion being shared, reaction stuff, such as, like I said, Sniper Wolf, any kind of, weird third reaction channel from bigger YouTubers who specialize in other content. Even Sidemen Reacts, I think, is relatively low effort, and that is your lazy reaction content, not these streamers who do try their best to, when they put it out on their YouTube channel, edit it and make it into their own video. Unfortunately, I know that you guys would love for, them to be held accountable, but their fan channels are not part of them and are not, associated with them or owned by them. So, if those are doing it, they unfortunately can't really do a whole lot about it, especially if they've okayed it, like in Hassan's case. It's just not something that can really be super heavily enforced. In fact, YouTube has even come out and said that it's a struggle. It's not something that they can really intervene in. It is what it is. So, it's not their fault that those channels exist and those channels do those things, and that they are bad faith actors or bots in some cases. It's not these streamers' faults. It just is how it is. And if they make the content on live stream and that is still offending you, them just streaming, watching another video, oftentimes providing a fair amount of commentary, then I don't know what to tell you. I think that, you might just be way too interested in something that doesn't matter, because chances are, if you have that opinion, you are either somebody who is too large to really care, or you are somebody that does not make content. And in that case, you just have a weird outside perspective that probably is just wrong. Just straight up wrong, to say the least. Or you just have a weird alternative, strange, I want to be different agenda. And that's why. And you feel like it's fun to go spread that on Twitter and, have a bunch of people get pissed off. Okay, so hello. This was not in the original video. I'm not gonna lie. I'm recording this a couple days after. I don't really know how long after, but at least a couple days after. I've been editing this video for a while, and there's definitely some things I wanted to touch on just a little more. God damn it, there's a car alarm going off. Okay, so that seems to be gone for the time, and it's back. So, you know what, we're just going to deal with it. It's okay. It's not that bad, right? It's not really hurting us. But yeah, so I did talk about quite a bit in this video, and I just wanted to I do really apologize for the alarm. It is pretty bad, but I do really just want to, record this bit and get this video out, because I've been editing it for, I don't even know how long, probably close to like 9 hours now. So yeah, I don't want to be doing this any longer than I have to. I did just want to touch on video games, because that is also something that can be affected by this, yet nobody really brings it up nearly as much as it probably should be. And this is interesting, especially for darkviperau. Now, video games count technically as IP, intellectual property. We explained that earlier in the video, right? And because it does count as IP, if you stream a game or if you make a Let's Play series of a game or something like that, you are subject to the same kind of, criticism, technically, or at least you should be, that a React streamer is. You're sitting there and playing a game that somebody else made with the intention to, unless it's a free game, be bought and played by the player who bought the game, right? It's not necessarily intended to be live streamed or to be, broadcast to a huge, large audience who did not watch the game. And for example, Nintendo likes to act on this. Nintendo has no problem with copyright claiming various different creators for making videos on their game. It's just how it goes. Now, I don't support that at all. I think it's bad, but I do think that it's an interesting counter argument, especially to people like darkviperau, like I said, who gets so incredibly mad at these React streamers, yet his entire channel is really built around doing GTA speedruns, which means he is technically just playing Rockstar's game. It's not necessarily any more exciting and creative or anything in comparison to a React stream. You're sitting there watching somebody play a game at the end of the day. What's he really doing? He's speed running through the game. Is that really the most exciting content in the world? No. If this guy was making 12 video essays a month or something like that, there's not really much I could say to him. Which, to be fair, he does create a fair amount of video essays, and I do honestly think that's his most original content. However, that's not the majority of his content. The majority of his content is still him playing GTA, which is essentially just him reacting to GTA. But, he does interact with it, which is slightly different. But you could say that pausing a video is interacting with a video. Or making small comments is interacting with the video. So it is really interesting to see how, somebody who I think feels above that and feels like they do truly make original individual content still doesn't necessarily make original individual content. It's just speedrunning through Rockstar's IP. Maybe Rockstar didn't want that to be streamed. Maybe Rockstar would prefer it if more people bought the game as opposed to watch darkviperau play it. You know what I'm saying here? So if he wants to complain that the small YouTube channel is, getting absolutely destroyed because a bigger YouTube channel is reacting to their video, you could say the same thing about video games. It works in a very similar way. Now, the difference is Rockstar is obviously a massive company with tons of money and tons of success, and they're not going to have any problem selling their next game, But at the same time, it still is working off of that. And for my argument, which is in favor of reaction and stuff like that, you could say that those Twitch streamers playing the game, which is probably what darkviperau would counter with, that him playing the game is getting people interested in GTA, getting people to go out and buy the game. Or for, mini games who market to Twitch streamers or hand out codes, it's because the people playing that game will then make other people want to play the game. Other people that maybe might not have and just decided to pop into the stream and then are like, whoa, this is a really cool game. I want to go buy this game. So it works the same way with reacting to videos. Maybe somebody would have never watched that small YouTuber's video, but because somebody reacted to it, it's going to be like oh, hey, this is crazy. You know what? I kind of like this. I think I'm going to go watch this channel. So, just another kind of, I guess, jab at darkviperau. Somebody who I am not particularly happy with. I think I've definitely made that clear in this video. And I just wanted to really clarify because this was a point that I did not talk on. And I kind of realized that as I was editing. It's something that I definitely meant to include. However, I did not include. But it's here now. So, you guys have it. I just wanted to do this real quick, real short. It might not be as edited as the rest of everything because I'm so sick of editing audio at this point. I've been doing it for hours upon hours. So I'm off to go record the gameplay that'll go in the background of this video that you've been seeing the whole time. It's going to be quite a bit of gameplay to record. It's going to be all original, all special, all cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, you know, I will let past me take this video out with the outro that was already there and ready to go. So let's send it back to me right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was long. I'm hoping that I did a good job on the editing. I really am going to try and put some work into it. Like I said, this is one of the projects that I've been working on. So yeah, you know, it's taken a lot. This is possibly the longest I have ever recorded a video for. I'm coming up on nearly 2 hours of recording. So I'm going to be cutting this down quite a bit, I'm sure. I'm going to be trying to get rid of as much dead space, as much repeated words. If, you know, things get repetitive, I'm going to try and work them out. This is hopefully going to be one of my highest production quality videos. And, you know, hopefully you saw that throughout the video because we are now at the end. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys took something out of this. I wanted to really give my opinion on this as a small creator, and not only just a small creator, but honestly, like almost a small React creator. I know I do commentary and it is different, as I tried to outline with that Venn diagram thing that we did way earlier in the video. But it is still similar enough to where I could definitely catch flack for doing the stuff that I do if I was likely of a bigger size and decided to, you know, maybe watch and react to some smaller creators. I just don't think that it's, you know, nearly as big of an issue as people make it out to be, and it's just gained way too much publicity, and there's way too much wasted energy that's been, you know, going on and talking about it for way too long. So I just had to get my own, you know, 2 cents in there and, you know, really try and give the perspective of a smaller creator and, you know, somebody who definitely could be subject to being reacted to, but also somebody who reacts. So I'm coming from both sides of the spectrum. And yeah, I don't know. Overall, I think reaction style videos are a net positive. I do think that they have some downsides that are very real. And I do think a lot of the concerns voiced by even darkviperau are justifiable. And I do understand why he does have those concerns. But I do not think that it's, at the end of the day, nearly as big of a deal as he makes it out to be, and I don't think that he really needs to go out targeting people in the way that he is, you know, to try and get everything his way and to get, you know, people to stop reacting and stuff like that, because it is content at the end of the day. It does still take somebody time, even though a lot of these, you know, big streamers are hiring editors before this stuff gets uploaded to YouTube. It does take their editors time to really transform it and make, you know, their own video out of it, and you know, that does take time, and so it is kind of a, you know, gross, you know, grouping to just call all of that lazy reaction content, because it does still take work. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were able to take something away from this through all of the confusion and, you know, the way that I typically talk about points. I hope I got something across to you. If I did, that's awesome. You know, as always, leave a like. It means a lot to me, as well as hit that subscribe button. Wow, I don't know what I just said, but hit the subscribe button, leave a like. You know, go ahead and leave a comment to what do you think about reaction, you know, content. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it cool? Do you not care? I mean, I don't know. I'm curious, you know, I'm curious to see what some of you guys have to say about it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It means a lot to me. As always, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you guys later. Goodbye. Also, P.S. 1,000 subscriber video should be coming soon. That's also going to hopefully be a big video. I'm going to be having big videos come out for like a little bit, and then it'll go back to more of just, my typical content. But that'll probably be a big video, and it is coming out soon. Hopefully, it will be coming out this Thursday when you're seeing this video. That would be awesome. That's my goal. But if you don't, know it's in the works. So, it will get to you. But, yeah, thank you guys. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.